Nerds podcast, a space dedicated to discussing sociopolitics, mental health issues, and nerd culture. I am the shaken but not stirred King.
And I am the low-key lit Vesta.
And welcome back, like I said.
Hello.
Ooh, Chile, these holidays.
I hate them. Well, no, I don't hate them. I tolerate their existence in my life.
Give it some time.
I know. 2 years from now, fuck Crimin.
Fuck Chrysler.
Fuck Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler. Alright.
Anyway, so I suppose we can just dive right in. No Trey songs.
You know, that gets less. It sounds like a. Trey Songz just sounds like a wart. Anyway.
Ew. Alright, so we're going to start our political section with the Chronicles of the Thinly Veiled Racism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figured we're going to start calling it that since that's what this whole wall debacle is about.
Please don't argue otherwise.
You can certainly try. My block button is well overdue for a massage. Anyway, so let's see. We've got reports of an agency suggesting that the government employees that are currently furloughed, in order to keep, rent costs down.
Rent costs?
Rent costs, mortgage costs.
Oh.
Try to offset that. Migos. Exactly. Let's not even. Anyway, in order to offset that, offer painting or carpentry services to their, lesser. No, their landlords, basically. And my thought is, you mean these majority office workers or janitors? Who, yeah, I'm sure some will probably have some experience with, a little bit of painting. I mean, painting isn't exactly rocket surgery.
Yeah,
but
it's also
time,
like office work, carpentry.
One of these things is not like the other. And then on top of that, a lot of these higher-ranking people like Bitch McConnell and Paul Ryan are still getting paid as much as they have been, but the lesser people are furloughed because that's fair.
One of my relatives who will remain unnamed and ungendered is talking about how they are furloughed currently.
Oh, they're furloughed. God. Yeah, we've got all this money to fund a wall, but we're going to furlough our lower-ranking government employees. But no.
No, the wall.
Oh, we're going to get to that. 'Cause I've got some. I don't know to call it tea, but it's something. Anyway, also ICE, dumped a bunch of processed immigrants in a park in El Paso.
Just dumped them there.
Just bye.
Figure your way out.
That's it. That's all. Just dumped them. We've got people shivering and stuff, being dumped out in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve. People in broken English begging passersby for
help,
cell phones, so that way these crumpled pieces of paper that they've held onto for their entire trip, they can use the numbers on these crumpled pieces of paper to try to get in contact with family members.
Right.
And I'm like, where's the assistance? Where's the
y'all just dumping them and not giving them shit.
Like, at the very least, be like, here's a couple of unlocked payphones or something. Call your relatives from here.
Right.
Or something, like some basic human decency. Like, how come, unless my news circles have not, given me anything about this, how come we are not being screamed at by other countries?
We are, we don't fucking care.
I mean, that's obvious, but I guess, like I said, it hasn't come up in any of my circles as of late of anybody from Europe being like, girl, what you doing?
It's probably I imagine the UN yells at us like every time.
The UN is probably too busy laughing at us to yell at us.
Laughing and yelling at the same time. So.
Yeah, but speaking of the wall and the person who's trying so hard to put it there.
Right.
Where to begin? Where to begin? Donnie, girl, sister, what you doing?
What are you up to now, buddy?
Other than tweeting incessantly. But this surprise trip to Iraq to visit the troops, which one, girl, what took you so long? Didn't Obama drop in on the overseas troops
Multiple times.
within a couple months of his presidency,
Yeah.
or within a couple months of his inauguration? Like it took President Donnie several months, or no, more than a year to actually go visit them, and he did it like so quietly, and then, you know, he tweeted out a video with a bunch of Navy SEALs in full gear, faces on camera and everything, exposing their location
Right.
to the whole World Wide Web. Do you know how easy it is for anybody who wants to attack, harm, kill these troops to be like, oh, they're at this base. Excellent. But, you know, that doesn't matter because it looks good. And, you know, I don't know if you noticed, but in that video, wasn't there like one or two people between him and, sorry, between him and Melania?
Melanoma.
I'm just remembering that my mom could not remember her name and called her Millennia. And that's how long this year has felt.
I think so, yeah. There was a couple people between.
Yeah. But so he's also demanding a wall or threatening to engineer a recession and sealing the southern border. There are multiple problems with this.
First of all, you ain't gonna do it. You can't do it. Second of all,
Yeah, can't do it because have you heard of checks and balances?
right.
There's a certain thing called checks and balances that is meant to keep tyrannical tirades like the one you're throwing from being anything but a lot of hot air.
Right. And speaking of tantrums, can you stop?
Can somebody
Can
like just
you-
take his phone and give him like a
Could
give him like a
you?
fucking Playmobil phone that looks like Twitter? Because then he'll probably
Like, could you not?
he's like, I'm pretty sure a little Playmobil phone that looks like it's sending tweets will be just as good because the man barely reads anyway.
Mind my silence. I'm just running through his Twitter to see what he's talking about now, wall related.
Be careful, you might lose a brain cell or five.
Too late.
But the other thing is, one, engineering a recession, you're going to punish the country for not doing what you want. Isn't that more than a bit dictatorial?
That's
Which is just a fun word to say.
that's dick potatoes.
Dictatorial. But and then on top of that, if you can go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's so irrelevant to the statement, but you said dictatorial. I just think it's like a porno game, but you have to go to the tutorial to learn how to use your dick.
A dick tutorial.
So go on, finish your point.
Lord. Anyway, so he's saying that if he doesn't get the thing, if he doesn't get something that'll seal the border, he will seal the border. I'm gonna give y'all like two or 3 seconds of silence to marinate on that. Let me repeat myself. He wants a wall to seal the border, otherwise he will seal the border.
Okay, you back? Okay, good.
Yeah,
So-
okay, that silence is also my brain doing the Windows startup noise, cause basically, like, how do you,
It's like,
y'all already know me well enough at this point that I'm pretty loquacious, I'm pretty verbose, I can talk a lot. This level of sophomoric foolishness has stunned me into near silence. Like, I got nothing. I got nothing.
President, 45 minutes ago, President and Miss Obama built has a 10-foot wall around their DC mansion / compound. I agree. Totally necessary for their safety and security. The U.S. needs the same thing, slightly larger version.
Slightly larger version? My nigga, the border is like 2,500 miles long.
You bringing the Obamas into this.
It's almost as bad as him bringing Chicago into anything. Like, he talked shit about Barack up, down, left, right, BA, select, start, all the way through his entire presidency. and now wants to use him as an example. Get
They don't
fucked.
like you.
She doesn't even go here.
Right. So, yeah. Alright, honey.
Anyway, I'm just like,
It doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't. You can't make sense out of nonsense, and this is nothing but nonsense.
It just does. We're just telling you what's going on.
Pretty much. 'Cause
And letting you know that we're also flabbergasted and confused.
I am flabbergasted. I am a gag. I am a I am a gag and aghast.
I thought you were gonna say agape.
Moving on. Are you done? Are you done?
Okay, I'm done.
Anyway, I just like this.
But it really is just like a bunch of bullshit that it's getting out of hand.
Like,
So the government's already shut down. What more can you do? That's about it.
because the thing is,
All you can do is sit and complain.
yeah, and the problem is that checks and balances is a thing, but at the same time, I'm just wondering how far are we as a country going to let him go?
We can't because he's not gonna get much further. As far as the wall, no, he's not. The fuck is he gonna do? Where's he gonna get that money from? Nowhere.
Rich racist.
I think they just chuck a billion. How much was it?
There's that GoFundMe that's still going.
No, not even that. Fuck that shit. That's not happening.
Yeah.
How much is he asking for?
If I remember correctly, it is 5 billion.
So who's gonna give him $5 billion for a wall? The last time you had people invest in things that you were starting, they all failed. So
Yeah, it's been a running thing. Which, by the way,
what makes you think
this is gonna work?
That's all I gotta say on that. We can be worried and all, but not really.
And okay, so I also like at the time of recording that the GoFundMe, the "We the people will fund the wall" GoFundMe is, like I said, at time of recording, sitting at roughly 18.3 million.
Like, do people are still donating? Like, do y'all understand that that money's not going to the wall if the government does get it? And because of that loophole, GoFundMe can literally just shut your campaign down because the money's not going to what its intended purpose was. Do we not know that?
Do you know?
Hello.
I'm
Hello.
Hang on. Then I've actually got some screenshots saved of Donnie's tweets. Where the fuck did my screenshot
Knockaround was
go?
pulling. He ain't been doing that many.
No, but I specifically screenshotted. Here we go. So I'm going to read off two of his tweets. I'm going to read them verbatim. I will try my best to keep my composure whilst reading them, because history. You know what? No, I'm not going to try to do a Donnie impersonation.
I wouldn't. Ew. No.
I don't think I can.
No.
Anyway, the Democrats are trying to belittle the concept of a wall, calling it old-fashioned. He capitalized wall. The fact is, there is nothing else's that will work, and that has been true for thousands of years.
Pause.
I'm trying to be nice,
Pause it. Pause.
but my inner English major...
Did he say nothing else's have worked?
Nothing else's... The fact is, there is nothing else's that will work.
All of your base belong to us. Go
All
on.
your base. All your
Like
base.
that was a train wreck of a sentence. Go on.
That barely counts as a sentence.
Go on.
Oh, it's not, because it's not done. The fact is, there is nothing else's that will work, and that has been true for thousands of years.
No, it's not.
It's like the wheel. There is nothing better. I know tech better than anyone, and technology on a border is only effective in conjunction with a wall. I know tech better than anyone. I
know
tech better than anyone.
So you don't even know the difference between a lace front and corn hairs. What makes you think you know the difference between
Like,
like?
I know tech better than anyone. Okay, Dr. Kafevi.
All you know how to do is use Twitter, bro.
Like, that's the he knows how to use Twitter, but apparently not the English language all that well.
Nothing there is nothing else's that will have worked 1,000 year.
Has anyone ever been so far as to?
Has anyone ever been so far? I forget how to. I used to be able to say that verbatim. I can't say it anymore.
I don't need my brain to spin too much more. Anyway, let me continue because it's a two-part tweet.
Oh,
I know tech better than anyone. Ampersand, not and. Ampersand technology. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 on a border is only effective in conjunction with a wall. Properly designed and built walls work. Keep in mind that the word wall has been capitalized every time. Properly designed and built walls work, and the Democrats are lying when they say they don't. Girl, do you have proof? Anyway, in Israel, the wall is 99.9% successful. Again, here's the thing. Let me sidestep. I'm the type of person that if you come to me with actual verifiable proof of something,
then I'm like, all right.
I'm inclined to change my stance.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
But
99.9%.
percent.
Is it sponsored by Lysol?
I was just gonna say, bitch, this ain't a Lysol commercial.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. Did Lysol build the wall?
Excuse me. 99% successful. Will not be any different on our southern border. Capital S, capital B on southern border. That is also a fragment sentence. Hundreds of $billions, capital B, saved. Exclamation point.
Where from? What?
What
You
money?
haven't saved a dime in your life, sir.
Hold on. Hundreds of billions saved. Okay.
On what?
First of all, bitch, how?
Girl, we couldn't even figure out what the fuck you talking about. First of all,
let's deconstruct this though. Let's actually take a good look at this. Will not be any different on our southern border. Hundreds of billions saved. Okay.
on what?
Hang on. Hear me out. Hundreds of billions saved. What are we spending that money on that we need to save it?
We're not.
Are we spending it on immigration? Are we spending it on immigration agents to help facilitate the process? Wait, or are all these illegal immigrants all these gratuitous air quotes, all these illegal immigrants coming in from the southern border, which newsflash, the majority of them are coming in from Eastern European and Asian countries via a plane and a work and or visit visa. I could actually pull up numbers to back that up, but I digress. All these people that come in and stay end up working jobs that pay under the table. And then these people working these jobs that pay under the table turn around and buy things through the regular system with cash. That regular system collects taxes. So these illegal immigrants are still stimulating the economy. So what hundreds of billions are you saving, Donnie?
Where did you get that from?
Where are they?
We don't see her.
She doesn't.
Ma'am?
She doesn't
Hello?
even go here.
Hello? Just hello?
I'm just like, what?
Girl.
Bitch, girl, boy, listen,
Sister,
honey, child.
girl.
I'm just like, what? And again, these are actual screenshots from his actual Twitter. I'm not doctoring his tweets in any way, shape, or form. I'm reading. I took a screenshot of these. Didn't edit it other than to crop it so it was just those two tweets.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just like. Okay, we're
done.
We're gonna move on
We're
because
done.
I don't
Goodbye.
think. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. We're just gonna move on to our rapid fire segment because I'm pretty sure y'all don't want to hear me just going for another hour. Look, David Drain. So we're gonna move on to our rapid fire section. Let's start off with the Illinois House is looking like that they're going to be doing legalization correctly.
I should have stopped you.
What?
So I have a sound effect I'm putting in later. I'm not telling you what it is until I'm done.
Oh no.
All right, go ahead.
Oh no. Girl, what are you... Okay. Anyway, the Illinois House looks like they're going to be doing legalization properly, in that they're planning on expunging pot convictions,
Good.
which is something which I would rather.
That's what I was stressed. That was what I was worried about.
Exactly. I would almost rather it remain illegal.
That is the other edge sword. That is the other end of the sword when you talk about legalizing marijuana. Like, tight, you legalized it now.
But what about the thousands of black and brown bodies that were thrown under the jail for a gram? Which
and they're still there.
Bitch, a gram.
And they're still there.
Bitch, a gram. Throwing them in jail over a gram.
Not Instagram. A bitch, a gram.
Yeah. Do you know how small? I know you're not.
I know.
A fan. I know you're not the biggest fan of cannabis. I know you're not the biggest fan of cannabis. That's more that's my ministry. But a gram is it can fit on a quarter.
Yep.
Of most strains.
And you're in prison for that. They're in prison for that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. No.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you. Next. Next, the notorious RBG. No. Anyway, so 72 hours after her lung surgery was completed, she came back to flex on these hoes and is back to work.
Thank you, Flex.
Like, if she needs a lung, girl, I got some lobes that she can have. I got some lobes you can have. Like, what?
Lobes. Lobes.
No.
Lobes.
Anyway, so well, I know we talked about President Donnie multiple times. Gonna bring him up one more again, cause apparently, and this is from this is pretty deep in the rumor mill, but with how clusterfucky this whole thing has been, I would not be even remotely surprised. Allegedly, the podiatrist that diagnosed President Donnie with bone spurs to get him out of Vietnam falsified those medical records as a favor to Fred Trump.
Bacon, eggs.
Yeah, thank you. Next. Like I said, it's rumor. There's a lot of rumors, and I'm not sure if there is any veracity to this, but it would not surprise me in the slightest.
It's a mess, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, so did you hear that story about the ref from Jersey?
Oh yeah.
Do I need to save that for later?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot to say on that.
Okay. Well, then we'll just save that for later. But you know what that means? We can move on to our palate clones. Palate clone.
Yeah.
Fighting. Anyway, so just a quick thing. The Nickelodeon show Double Dare featured its first family with two dads. And I feel like I need to do a little bit of digging on some posts about this actually happening, because my skin is getting a little rough. I could use the exfoliation from the salt of all the tears.
Go on, ho.
I gotta be silky smooth.
I have to be silky. All right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
well.
Oh, yes, moisturize me.
We have redlined. It has been 25 minutes. We have redlined at least 6 times already. I've counted. Lord help me. All right, go on.
All right, thank you. Next. So I'm here for it,
Yes, I am.
and I want to see more. And I want to see more rustled homophobic jimmies
Oh, yeah.
all day long. Moving on. Queen Serena is coming for wig caps, is coming for edges and wigs and rackets and leaving nothing but alopecia in the dust.
My wig.
She's been named the AP Athlete of the Year for her resilience.
You better work, bitch.
Like, she came in, unfurled her hair, and was like, "You don't get to win. You don't get to win.
You
don't
lose.
get to win.
You lose.
Oh, you're gonna lose.
You lose.
You're gonna lose to me.
You
and,
lose.
Wait. You're gonna lose to me and my baby that I'm carrying right the fuck now." And then
It's
had
like
a
that
bunch
Beyonce song, Nice. It's just like, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you.
but she had like a bunch of complications happen after her pregnancy. Still came back to snatch wigs.
Hello.
Had that ref be ain't shit to her, saying that she was receiving coaching from the audience, and she was like, "No, I actually no." She was mad about
Oh,
that
she's
'cause
hot.
she's like, "I have never cheated in my life. How fucking dare you?"
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah.
And they had the nerve to call her all sorts of things when there were some white dude with the nickname,
multiple, not even one.
yeah, but with the nickname Bad Boy of Tennis, who would throw rackets and have huge ass tantrums all the damn time.
Like, my white superiority isn't helping.
Inferiority, mediocrity.
Ooh, even better. Wow, wrong button.
We're fighting. Anyway, speaking of black girl magic, Michelle Obama has been
Okay. Please. Michelle Obama. No. This is not an Owen cartoon.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm lightheaded. I wish y'all could have seen the look that Vesta just gave me. Okay. Okay. I'm good. I'm fine. Anyway, Michelle Obama. I'm trying.
Please hold. Sorry. Okay. Let's go. We only have a couple points.
OG
left on
Flotus was voted the most admired woman in the country. And then like
Yes.
one, well, duh,
Yes. Yes.
because she's fucking sickening. Like, can we talk about her showing up? I forget where it was. Showed up in this badass wrap dress, face beat, wig on point, and some thigh-high, glittery-ass Balenciaga boots. Like, first of all, how dare you?
Second of all.
My wig.
Third
Basically.
of all, like, where can I get an entire outfit that looks like her boots?
You already have a sequined ass jacket that would match those boots.
But it needs to just be silver.
They weren't silver. They were multicolored.
It was like mostly silver.
Do I need to pull up the picture?
Like, no, do you get what I'm saying? Because mine is like rainbow, like strictly rainbow.
And so
hers is silver with a lot of rainbow. I'm not saying it was just silver, but it's got a lot of. You get what I'm saying?
We're moving on though. But still, Michelle, I'm already packaging up my edges and such. You may have them. Moving on, we have some children that are just being sickening left, right, center. Starting with one Nicholas Buama, if I'm mispronouncing, I do sincerely apologize, who is a smooth 7 years old, has had his book added to the Library of Congress.
You better work.
A 7-year-old
7.
has published a book. Keep in mind, this book has been published so that way he can help out with his vocabulary. Like, he sounds a lot like me when I was younger, because I was using words that I had no business using. Not in a bad way, but like, I was using therefore and shit at like 5, 6 years old. Like, when I was 5, I wanted to be a my words. When I was 5, I wanted to be a pediatric neurosurgeon. And I could spell both words.
Meanwhile, I wanted to be a storm chaser and look at tornadoes.
But yeah. So he's got a book in the Library of Congress.
Better work.
Also, speaking of sickening children, this one's actually from across the pond. We have Esther Okade, who is a smooth 10 years old, is off to college for a mathematics major, or to be a mathematics major. One girl,
I
girl,
wish.
girl. I just finished my final math class for college, and I don't even want to look at a plus sign again.
Same.
Like, I am over it.
Same,
I
honestly.
am over it, under it, beside it, beneath it, around it. I'm done. I am so done with math. Like, I do math. I use math a lot for D&D. I don't like it outside of that.
Right.
Like, I can use it when I need to. I don't like math for school stuff. But she is so sickening that she's like, so I intend on having my PhD by the time I'm 13, and I'd like to have my own bank by the time I'm 15.
Work.
Like,
Slay.
I'm over here like I didn't even have my license until I was 18. You're over here snatching wigs, getting PhDs, and trying to have whole entire banks by the time
A bank.
15.
A bank.
If that bank makes its way over here, my bank can.
Who?
My bank can punt boulders.
Who?
Did I stutter?
You said punt boulders. Bitch. Alright. Wow. Just a bank.
A bank.
That bank ain't called Shea Butter Coconut Oil. Would you like the Shea Butter checking account or the coconut oil savings account?
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I sure did.
You didn't have to do that. But
Yes,
no,
I did.
and she is so precious. Like, there was a picture posted up next to the article where I found out about this, and she looks like she could be my little cousin too,
I've seen her.
and has the
Absolute.
biggest smile. And
It's
I'm
like, hello.
hi, I'm here. I'm amazing. I'm sickening.
Give me your
I'll,
edges.
here's my hands. Accept my.
I'm accepting edges.
I'm accepting edges. You can. I take cash, credit, PayPal.
I take
Venmo.
cash, credit, Venmo, or edges.
But I'm here. Let's go. Let's go. Lego.
Legendary.
Let's go. Anyway, that is about it for our palette clones. I'm good. I'm mostly good.
Uh-huh. Again, there's going to be a sound effect for that very soon.
What, for palette clones?
Palette cleanse and rapid fire.
Pew pew. So we are going to move on to a break. Where what do we have for this break?
Me,
Oh,
as usual, y'all. Like, hello. Uh-huh. It's going to be called Champagne.
ooh, some champagne.
You know, actually, how I say it in my head to spell it properly.
I mean,
I say
you do
champagne.
I mean, you do what you got to do to spell it right. But
Champagne, y'all.
yep, enjoy some bubbly, and we shall return. And we are back. I hope you didn't have too much bubbly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as always, I'm dropping our little disclaimer, though I don't think it's going to be as necessary this time. It's
Listen.
consistency is nice.
Listen. So, we could talk. As much as I love and adore talking about mental health,
Because talking about it removes the stigma around it.
if we can only talk about so much consistently before we run out of ideas and have to almost like nix the section.
Well, it's less running out of ideas, more
Repeating ourselves.
partially repeating ourselves. But the other thing is that so a lot of the heavier subjects are so taxing to talk about.
Yes. And it's like that weighs on energy and shit.
Right. And as much as I love talking about it to work on removing the stigma around it, there's a phrase that I've been trying to live by that goes, "You cannot pour from an empty cup."
There you go.
And because this is so draining, I don't want to empty my cup.
Right.
So, for today's segment, just a quick thing. As always, we're just two loud mouths with a couple mics and recording equipment, and a lot to say. Please take any mental health related things that we say, especially during this section,
With a Lincoln Tunnel full of salt.
with a what?
Lincoln Tunnel.
The hell is a Lincoln Tunnel?
Oh my god, you don't know what the Lincoln Tunnel is.
No. What is the Lincoln Tunnel?
It's this tunnel in New York, the shape of Jermaine Jackson's hairline. So, so anyway,
Hold on. First of all, I've never been to New York.
that's fine. All you need to think of Jermaine Jackson's 5 head.
No.
So we're going on.
Regardless, take what we say with that much salt, and let's get it rocking.
Yeah.
Today, we are going to be talking about how our Christmas went.
No disrespect to anyone else's holidays. It's just the one that we celebrate.
With gratuitous air quotes, celebrate.
It's really just me buying things for people because I feel guilty.
And it's mostly just me being too broke to buy things and feeling bad that I can't.
So, here's my thing with Christmas. Christmas is a really nice time of the year for me, in some aspects. It was my grandmother's favorite holiday, so I think of her. And there's some family that I'm really happy to see on the other end of that spectrum.
No, go on.
There's just so much. When you're still in the state of being like forced to be around family that you don't talk to, it becomes either uncomfortable. I don't know if uncomfortable, awkward are the same thing.
It's draining.
Yeah, draining, and that's one of the things I had to deal
Uncomfortable, I
with.
think, is a good word for that.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's awkward. It's forced, and it's in some scenarios that I know it's not just mine. Fake as hell. I don't like fakeness. I tend to isolate myself from fakeness. The only reason I couldn't do it this time was because the party bled into my magnificent studio, and I want to cry. But what can you do? I got some good presents though, and I actually bought some nice presents for folks. So
I'm excited for when mine arrives.
should I say what it is?
I mean, I'm pretty open about cannabis.
Yeah, so I got Kay a Dragon Ball grinder in the shape of a ball, a Dragon Ball.
And, what did I give you? Oh, yeah.
You're going to give me that shipping for ASOS.
Right. I'm paying for Vesta to get a subscription to his favorite, get unlimited shipping to his favorite clothing company.
Lacy titties, here I come. So, that face, you're just like, are you done?
Are you done?
So,
are you
what
done?
else? I think I got I got my boyfriend a coffee mug with one of his favorite streamers on it. I got my best friend in the world, I got her a half Venom, half Carnage hoodie. Face is split down the middle.
With the zipper? Shiny.
And then my mother got a Google Home. Whether or not she'll know how to, I love you, Mom. Whether or not she knows how to use it or will use it is up in the air. But she has it. Merry Christmas. And my sister,
You know, she can ask me if she's not sure, because I have one
Right.
as well.
I can figure my way around
I
it.
also,
It's
I also
just,
got that Wi-Fi light bulb.
I need to get that. I want one of those. I want like 12 of those, so I could just, if I wanted to make this room purple and watch Purple Rain or something, I could do it. But anyway, and then last gift I got was from my dear sister. She has a Beauty and the Beast Eternal Rose desk lamp.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's like this big, and it lights up, and it's got the rose spinning in it.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
And I said this big. It's the size of one of the speaker monitors I have here.
Which they also don't know how big it is. It's
Monitor size. It's this regular old speaker size.
8-inch cylinder, about 10 inches tall.
Yeah, there we go. Um, Other than that, though, I largely kept to myself, and I did a lot of cooking. I did gumbo, or I helped. I should say I helped with gumbo.
Ooh, and I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, you get he gets a Tupperware. Um,
I'm a bit of a slut for gumbo.
True. I mean,
Like
it's gumbo is the shit.
that's about a third of the reason why I want to go down to New Orleans.
Same. Um, and then what did I make the first night? Because it was gumbo night on Christmas Eve, and I also fried catfish nuggets, fried chicken wings, whole wings, and French fries for the children's. And then the second day was the crazy Christmas dinner festivities. We had prime rib, a turkey, dirty rice, mac and cheese, collard greens, cranberry sauce, stuffing, which I'm disappointed I fucked up the stuffing, and um, gravy made like from complete scratch
Ooh.
with like the turkey neck and
Ooh. Okay, bitch.
and I fucked that up too, unfortunately. Ladies and gents, if you want to put food in a crock pot to keep it warm, make sure you press the keep warm button and not high cook. Because it literally separated the gravy into like gravy and oil.
Ugh.
And I couldn't do anything about it. Yeah. Other than mix it and then pray that it was gravy. It was disappointing. And then Kai baked the cake. My sister baked the cake. And then I slept for a really, really, really long time. What did you do?
Oh boy. So my Christmas was actually rather dim. The holidays have never been very kind to me or my mental health, especially as I've gotten older. You kind of know that the magic of Christmas vanishes when you can fall asleep easily on Christmas Eve.
It's true.
Well, fall asleep normally. Um, Aside from what Vesta said, I didn't really get anything. Well, no, I got a couple of things from my friends. I gave a couple of things to my friends. I don't know. It's complicated. I have a complicated relationship with Christmas because the whole family togetherness and peace on the earth, goodwill to men. I'm sure that was way off key, but regardless, I don't know. I spent the majority of Christmas kind of doing nothing but being depressed and playing video games, which on one hand was nice that I didn't have to deal with people, but like I fibbed about having a migraine so I wouldn't have to leave the house and go see my mother and brother, who I know for a fact would have drained me to tears
Yeah.
because I was already like completely drained. And of course, I got the if you can think about it, you can change how you feel. And I'm like, if I could consciously, oh mother, if I could consciously change my mental chemical composition, do you really think I would be sitting in a chair feeling disgusting and unloved and extremely sad for several days? It's not like I want to continue feeling this way, dear mother.
Right. Mother.
But still, I finally got mostly out of it. I got out of it to a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get sushi and feel better about myself.
Yay.
So I actually went and got sushi with a friend of mine who actually contributed to the podcast. Remember Angel?
Oh yes.
Yeah, they were like, hey, I'm actually in the area. Like, oh,
Sushi.
sweet, let's get sushi. So oh my god, I'm embarrassed to even think about how much sushi I had, because it was all you can eat, and bitch, I ate all I could.
That's a mood and a half.
And I was doing like the pregnant waddle out of the restaurant.
Oh, such good memories.
Oh, so much sushi.
I mean, I can't relate to that part, but yeah, food.
I know the food can't really fill the void of how I was feeling, but god damn it, sushi tried really hard.
It's still just like you went out and did something that at least got you
Yeah,
some
I
comfort.
got out of the house. I got to see a friend. I got to try to feel better about myself, and it worked to a point. Um, I don't know. That was pretty much it. I mean, I saw my mom and brother. Um, we're, I guess, too old for Christmas presents now,
Yeah.
but I got to just obliterate my brother in Soul Calibur 6. Like, I'm like, you can borrow Soul Calibur and you can borrow Diablo. I fully expect you to be at least half of a challenge for me the next time I come back.
Damn.
Because honestly, like, your skill is lacking, dear brother. That's not even shade. That's just fact. I look. I am one of the most sickening people at Soul Calibur that I know. Like, send me an email at askthabkcast.com
Oh my god.
if you want to catch these hands.
Don't do
If
it.
you want,
Please.
if you want to catch these hands on the stage of history,
Oh my
then
god.
you are more than welcome to.
Oh my god. See, what we're not gonna do is have a repeat of what happened when you found out DB Fighter Z was a competition at WakandaCon.
Oof.
I never saw you for about 15 minutes, and I had to come find you.
Yeah.
Because you were still sitting there.
You saw me like sweating.
And I'm like, excuse me, sir.
Yeah, you saw me sweating, fighting this dude with an actual like fight stick.
Oh
instead
yeah.
of a controller. Like, he had his hair
He,
tied back.
when he
eyebrow-
pulled that out, I was like,
Oh,
oh,
shit.
no. Anyway,
But like, but yeah, it was video games, embarrassing amounts of sushi, equally embarrassing amounts of Moscato,
yeah,
which I may or may not have turned Vesta onto. So we may start. I don't know.
yeah.
But
It was very.
it was depressed, but otherwise uneventful.
The past few for me have been very melancholy.
Yeah.
And you know what's bad about it for me is that I don't, aside from the being forced to be around the awkward family and fake family and whatever, I can't figure out why. Because even during the Christmas time when there's no one around, and it's just like my immediates, the two, I don't know why I get so messed up around Christmas time. It's still an enigma to me. I don't exactly know why.
Yeah, same here. Well, I have my theories, but I'm also a little older than you, so
It's just like I don't understand. I'm not like angry or like genuinely sad, but I can feel that I'm a lot more melancholy around Christmas, and I don't know why. Update on that next Christmas.
well, my dear melancholy, no weekend. I think that about.
Okay.
We.
You're redlining again. All right.
At least I'm not wearing a shiny fucking dress and fucking shoes while I was trying to take slaves.
Dorito! You think Harriet Tubman was wearing a nice shiny fucking crown and a nice shiny fucking dress on when she was taking slaves? Dorito!
Oh, now who's redlining, Vesta?
You brought it up. I had to. Yeah, you brought it
Oh,
up.
would you look at that? Look at all that red.
You can suck my badonkadong. Anyway,
Anyway, we are going to be taking another break and serving you some musical goodness.
Yes.
Who we got for this one?
Mr. F, the hot one.
I'm Mr. Heat. Anyway,
I'm telling him you said that, and he's not going to be happy.
somehow I doubt that very much.
It's called Better to Be Bad because when I'm, in his words, when I'm good, I'm very good, but when I'm bad, I'm better. He's a hoe. But anyway, We're gonna enjoy that. BRB, y'all.
Yep, we'll be back. Enjoy some sweet cheese. And guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back. I hope you
Work this pussy.
enjoyed.
Work this pussy. Work this pussy.
Can you?
Work this
Are you
pussy.
done?
What? You can say work this, but go back. If you were listening anywhere, go back and like rewind that song and just repeat the words "work this pussy" to the beat, and it works just fine. Like this pussy. Woo! In unison. All right.
Clearly,
Nerd-
we've been hanging around to each other too much. In T-Way.
Nerd culture time.
Oh yes, I'm excited.
So am I.
So, the trailer for Jordan Peele's new thriller has dropped recently.
It's called
Us. So, first of all, I don't get scared easily. At least by movies, at least by media. Like certain things might like make my skin crawl a little bit, but overall, I don't get creeped out. This trailer creeped me out, and I cannot wait to go
This
see it.
trailer did a whole 180. By the way, really quick about this trailer. I am flabbergasted and appalled that a lot of people didn't know what the iconic,
I Got Five on It.
legendary rap anthem "I Got Five on It" was until this trailer. Y'all are all fake and you're banned.
And yeah, lace fronts smell like
Egg
huevos.
whites.
Are you? Have you lost?
So
enough air?
anyway,
Anyway,
that trailer was terrifying.
It
It does like a whole 180. I love it.
so it starts off with M'Baku and Nakia.
Winston Duke and Lupita Nyong'o.
Like I said, so it starts off with M'Baku and Lupita.
You even said her real name. You fucked up.
Anyway, so it starts off with them, and sidebar, Black Twitter, can we not? Because they took two looks at her hair. It was like, why they cast Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, in this movie? Can we? That's
My wig.
okay. Anyway, I just thought that was hilarious. So, we can start off with the fact that we're already breaking tropes of multiple kinds. We've got, darker skinned protagonists.
Yep.
We don't have the running thing of the dark, lower intelligence father and the smart but light skinned and or mixed wife. Because
We see you every movie ever. Except the only other movie I can think of that did that too was the only good Tyler Perry movie, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. 'Cause she wasn't like dark, but she was fairly dark.
can't, who?
Damn. Listen, although he's trash, that's like the only good movie he's put out was that one.
Like, there are fragments of Tyler Perry related things that I know about, like, you know what? We're not going to even get into it because we're getting sidetracked. I'm talking about actually creative people. Yeah. But sticking to the topic of actually creative people, this movie looks amazing.
It does.
The trailer, I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen it. Last I looked, it was at nearing 10 million views. It starts off with Lupita, Winston, and their family I guess out of respect, I should probably refer to them by their last names. But anyway, their family all going up, I guess, to their
They're like on a retreat vacation, like
or
a
something.
cabin or
Like
something.
they are bougie enough to have like a summer home
Work,
or something.
work.
So they go up to visit that, and it's just it's kind of laid back. Their friend whose sidebar is Offred from The Handmaid's Tale, which took me a minute to catch. I'm like, why do I know that face? Why do I know that face?
Whatever the Handmaid's Tale is.
We're not even gonna anyway. But the trailer starts to take a turn.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, let me take two steps back. On the drive up, I Got Five on it starts playing. Winston Duke's character starts singing it. And they're like, "What's this?" The son is like, "What's this song about?" Daughter's like, "It's about drugs." It's not about drugs. It's a dope song. I'm like,
I mean,
that's arguable depending on what your definition of drugs is, but I guess.
yeah.
But they're playing I Got Five on it. And keep that in mind. So, fast forward to them being at the beach and talking with Offred and her family. And the little boy
Wanders off.
wanders off. Keep in mind, there are so many little details. There's so many little fucking details! Like, the fact that he was still wearing his Jaws shirt at the beach. The fact that he had a Wolfman mask on throughout the majority of the trailer. He disappears off and comes up on somebody standing vaguely in a T pose with a driving glove in their right hand and blood dripping off of it. But yeah, comes up upon this person, and then it cuts to them to Lupita's character finding him, freaking out, telling him that she'll always protect him, and it fast forwards to their house. And I'm not gonna verbally describe the entire trailer, but or to a point at least. So the little boy later on, after they're at home, goes, "There's a family in our driveway." Which one? The way he said that already made my skin crawl.
That's like I see dead people.
Pretty much. But said family, you see their silhouettes, and I'm like,
Oh,
it's
us.
like, what was the dead giveaway?
Oh, Winston.
Winston Duke.
Yeah.
Winston Duke is a smooth.
I'm like,
6'6",
oh, look at that. It's Winston.
and he's 6'6" and thick.
And then when he comes out with the bat, I'm so
like-
glad that was the reaction, and not a Caucasian hello. It was a bitch.
He starts off with a "Can I help you?" and then goes back out with the bat. It's like, if you want to get crazy, we can get crazy.
And then they go, boom. I was like, oh, no, we're done. They just like all split in different directions. So I'm like, we're done.
And
We're done.
eventually the doppelgangers or skinwalkers or something.
So that I'm gonna get into afterwards. So go on.
But they get in the house and you see them looking back at each other. It's so fucking creepy. It's like Winston Duke's character, doppelganger, I guess, looks like he's been living in the woods for a month, beard all grown out and discombobulated and unmoisturized, and he looks like he hasn't slept in a week. And the little boy is wearing what looks like
A sack. It was like a.
no. You know what that is? That looks a lot like the mask that stunt people wear before they're set on fire.
Oh, it's true.
Which makes more sense later on in the trailer.
Yeah.
Because they show him being on fire.
Yeah.
But they also show Lupita's character
With that grin.
with that grin. I have never been like, ooh, like genuinely creeped out by the way somebody was looking at the camera.
Yeah.
But I am gagging, and I cannot wait until the Ides of March, because that's when this bitch is supposed to drop in theaters.
So why I say skinwalkers, or they're very reminiscent of skinwalkers. If you guys don't know what skinwalkers are,
Google is your friend.
well, that's like the real term, like for what the actual skinwalkers were. Modern day, like skinwalker stories usually revolve around being in the woods or somewhere alone near the woods, and seeing someone you know or yourself, and they act like you but not like you, and they don't know, they mimic you,
You're a little off.
and they're not completely there. Like, there was one I'm gonna skim this little short story about one really quick so you get the gist, and I'll explain why it's relevant. There's a story about a girl taking her two big Rottweiler dogs and her little fucking poodle out in the middle of a cabin when they were camping in the woods to go use the bathroom. Two big Rottweilers are a little lighter, but the little poodle is pitch black, so she could see the the Rottweilers loses track of the poodle. She hears whimpering that sounds like her dog in the woods, so she starts walking toward and calling the dog's name, like, oh, I'm just gonna say Ralph or Alfie for substitution. As she gets closer, this person in the story gets closer to the sound of the whimpering. She immediately starts to back up, but then she realizes she bumps into her dog, the poodle that she's been looking for this whole time, because the poodle never left her side. And then the Rottweilers start growling at whatever was making the whimpering sound. So then she backs up and she says, "Hello, who's there?" And then out of the woods, there's no sight, nothing there. All you hear is Alfie, just like the girl was calling, looking for her dog.
Oh, that's creepy.
What Lupita's character does in this trailer, or the doppelganger.
Are you talking about towards the end?
Yes. She says, be careful, but it sounds very, very wrong.
Be careful.
Like, it sounds wrong. That right there immediately was like, this is Skinwalker-ish shit.
I'm
hyped.
I don't even have words for how excited I am for this movie.
Same, honestly.
Like, gagging. And, my favorite part about this, so there's always been the running trope in horror, thriller, creepy movies or whatever, to take, like, a fun song and make it creepy. Like, we could take that all the way back to, the Freddy Krueger thing. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4. Anyway, but making it creepy one way or another.
Yeah.
So Jordan Peele was like, you know what? Let's get something classic. So grabs I Got 5 on it.
Flips that shit hard.
It chops and screws it. No Mike Jones. But like slows it down and makes it more orchestral. And because of the minor key of the original song, it doesn't take much. And
It's like
got my
flipped
skin
in a heartbeat.
crawling.
Yep. And that's what people were going crazy about. If that orchestral version is not released somewhere,
Please, it needs to be. Like,
see,
I
would agree with you, but just real quick sidebar: that movie version of OPPS from Black Panther, Ops, is nowhere to be found.
Somebody actually made a movie mix.
But that's just because they used the surround sound shit.
But yeah.
But anyway, I'm hyped.
I'm so excited. So, moving on to our
Diamond Days shit. So, the first actual new episode of the fucking the bomb is called Familiar.
I love the song.
Song is the shit. Steven sounds amazing. Zach Callison.
Also, the pebbles are obscenely adorable.
They're voiced by Zach Callison and Susan Egan.
The voices of
Steven and Rose, which is...
Oh, wait. Sidebar, Steven Universe spoilers. Fast forward, just making sure it's said.
Yeah.
I don't want to... I don't need any angry tweets in my direction because we spoiled it.
Yeah, well. We get to see two of the diamonds, well, technically three, but two of the diamonds in their element. One being yellow and blue. Well, yellow and blue. Yellow has got this just golden sauna, and I hate it.
Why do you hate it? She's sitting
She's just like, yeah, hello. Come on, sit down, girl. And, like, Blue's got this
pool.
Beautiful, like, luxurious pool. I theorize that they use, like...
Because they're both called extraction centers.
I think so.
Or extraction rooms.
Well, one of them is. It's called the extraction chamber. And I don't know if Blue Pro calls Blue's room extraction chamber. But it's very much what it is, because when it shows a zoom out of Steven about to walk up the steps to the pool, you see tubes leading from the pool
down the stairs,
and it's got a bunch of what Pearl called Rose's tears, sweet lacrimal essence, which is clearly the fluids or something of the diamonds has like insane amounts of power in them apparently.
Which is what Vesta and I both think is what creates new gems.
Yeah, because one thing that does show this is when Steven's singing familiar and he gets to diamonds like pinks, like vanity, makeup table, whatever that is.
And he's sweating.
And he sweats on a couple little pebbles there, and one springs to life, and it's a pebble. And you're like, oh.
Interesting.
Right. And it's just like, is this how gems are made? Is this...
This will get...
It's going to get interesting. Oh, and story-wise, Steven tries to talk to Yellow about talking to White, and Yellow's like, I'm busy, pretty much. As a bad bitch usually is.
I mean, she's my diamond, so...
And then... she tries to talk to Blue. Blue gives a little bit of insight into how the diamonds were altogether before Pink left for Earth, and that they all used to be a genuine family together. And they all used to love each other and play games and hang out and do all this other stuff.
Yeah, like the game of Pink singing at the bottom of the
sing
pool.
at the bottom of the pool, and White, Yellow, and Blue had to figure out what the song was, which is interesting. Just sidebar, I can't imagine White's big ass fit in that goddamn room.
They can shapeshift. You saw Amethyst. They can shapeshift. You remember Amethyst shrinking down as small as her gem would allow.
But
and fitting into a hermit crab shell.
But I don't think she was in the pool.
Why not?
She probably was in the waterfall.
Why wouldn't she be in the pool if she can change her size?
I doubt White don't...
White is all... Keep in mind that this is also several thousand years of a difference. White can be a completely different gem at this point.
That's fair, I guess. I don't know, I just can't picture her in that room. One thing that Yellow does say that's very interesting is, Steven says, we still need to talk to White about healing the gems, and Yellow just says, good luck. White never leaves her head these days, and she never lets anyone in. Which is very curious.
Because I wonder if she meant that literal.
Because I think that's very, what is that called, double entendre? Is that what that is?
I think so.
Yes, double meaning, because literally it doesn't leave her head, and also White's gone. It's some shade of gone, because she sounds insane. But another thing.
Or what if she isn't?
Yeah, I could see that.
Which is the more terrifying option.
Right, because they've already revealed that. So it's gonna be an hour-long showdown happening at the end of this. Spoilers, by the way. That Cartoon Network revealed that there's gonna be an hour-long special called Battle of Heart and Mind. I'm scared, so scared. But story-wise, Pearl tells Steven about how Pink used to throw balls and all the diamonds used to be there, and it just used to be a big social function. That was Pink's thing. So Steven decides at the end of the episode he's gonna throw a ball and then get all the diamonds together and talk about healing the gems on Earth. And the next episode is called Alone Together. I'm scared for Steven. I'm terrified for Steven.
But we shall see what happens, because now that I'm caught up, I'm hooked and shooked.
I'm so scared. I really am. Like, I just don't... I'm trying not to linger too long, but there's so many questions. Also, it freaks me out that a lot of the inanimate objects on Homeworld are alive.
Like Blue's comb was singing to her.
Which was the voice of Lisa Hannigan herself. I've heard Lisa Hannigan sing in Steve Universe. I am mildly satiated until Blue herself starts singing. Because, bitch, Blue sings one note. One fucking note.
My wig.
One note. Just one. And it's just going to be like death drop to the floor. So.
You are doing quite a lot.
Lisa Hannigan is amazing. Blue Diamond is beautiful. One note. And I'm out. I'm done with this.
And you're already sending your edges off. Anyway, so we've got one final thing that I got clued into.
Oh, yeah.
A Reddit post of all things that tickled my nerd fancy.
This freaked me out.
So,
well, not freaked me out, but it made sense.
Weird. So, a little bit of backstory. I played Dungeons and Dragons. Vesta actually got his first taste of Dungeons and Dragons fairly recently.
I did okay.
I think he did pretty good. He needs a little, like, let's get you your own set of dice and stuff and go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so especially I'm most familiar with Fifth Edition. In Dungeons and Dragons, there is a classification of creature called Fey, Fey or Fae, depending on what region you're from. The Fae are strange creatures with strange foods and strange habits and strange customs and strange deals that you don't want to fuck with unless you have absolutely no option.
Right.
Minor critical role spoilers, for example. At one point, and I'll still try to keep it fairly vague, at one point in the story, the party asks a powerful Fey creature to freeze time so that way they can rest and prepare for a big fight. The creature agrees under the condition that said creature can strangle one of the party members until said party member is dead. Because the party member, they said that that party member is temporarily immortal. So, just to give you an idea of how, like, twisted the Fae are. So, this is a Reddit post of a Tumblr post saying that we as humans are the Fae to animals.
And it makes so much sense.
Like, hang on, okay. So, and I'm quoting from the Tumblr post, of the stories I've read, the food of the Fae, its origins and effects are often strange and are obscure, just like our food to most animals.
Yes.
Like, we absolutely love chocolate, but it'll kill dogs and cats. The Fae are strange beings that seem to know weird things that give them power or an edge over us, just like us to animals.
Yes.
Like, we know that, like, pinching the base of a cat's neck will basically deactivate the cat.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. The Fae work and live by strange rules, also often nonsensical or obscure to us, just like us to animals. Coming back to the D&D thing, the Critical Role Squad visited the Feywild, which is the realm of the Fae, where, the material plane, our current plane, time is linear and normal. The Feywild, it seems like it's always just before sunset. But they sleep and then they wake up and the sun is like 2 inches higher in the sky and then a foot higher in the sky and then halfway sunset, and it just doesn't make sense to them.
Right.
The Fae can easily obtain vast amounts of things we consider rare, precious, or desirable, and have no problem dishing it out wantonly for no other reason than amusement, just like us to animals. Food. Something that animals are very strongly driven by.
Yes.
The Fae sometimes are amused by having us around, but only on their terms, and if it amuses or intrigues them, just like us to animals.
Right.
One word. Pets.
Right. Oh my god.
They have arcane social conventions, and the punishment for not paying the correct respects right is banishment if you're lucky, and death if you're not. Dogs biting people, for example, and then being put down because they're, quote, too dangerous.
Bullshit.
When, if you examine what's happening, that dog was probably being antagonized to a certain point,
Yeah.
and the signs weren't being watched. They have wild and unexpected parties where you'd least expect to find them, but if you're bold enough to entertain them, they'll feed you and caress you and play with you all night. Stray dogs wandering into
Pubs
Coachella or Burning Man.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say that.
Time runs strangely in their realm. Their homes are summer lands, warm and bright no matter the season. There is always fruit on their tables, but not everyone who comes in from the cold is let back out again. Pets. Again. Sometimes they just fucking fuck with you, the fuckheads. I mean...
True. Fetch and don't throw the ball.
Oh, and here's the big one.
Yeah.
They will absolutely steal your children away. When your children return, if they ever do, they will come back strange. They will know things they shouldn't. They won't know things that they should. Your strange children might survive, might even prosper, might take wives or husbands and have children of their own, but they will always be marked by the time away from your world.
Real shit.
How many times have we picked up animals to study them, tagged them with a microchip or something, and sent them back to the wild?
Right. It still happens. Happening right now.
Like...
Mind fuckery.
But like
in a post.
Most of the comments on here are just giggling at this. Sometimes they fucking fuck with you, the fuckheads.
Right, and then I'm pretty sure the other hand is like, what? Excuse me? Oh, whoa?
Did you just...
Oh, whoa?
Oh, no.
What's this?
into a. I don't know. Like I said, my inner D&D nerd was rather fascinated at the very concept of that because it makes too much sense. And that being combined with the two dogs, we are mysterious fey creatures that live to be over 500 years old. That just adds on to it.
Right, it does.
But I don't know. Like I said, I saw that post and was thoroughly intrigued by it, and I figured, why not tell our listeners about it? I'm sure someone will get a kick out of it. But yeah, if you want, you can search humans are Fey, F-E-Y, or F-A-E, to animals. Search that on Google, and the Reddit post should pop up post haste. Hoodalolly. But that's that. Except, I think we've got another thing to talk about. Are you going first, or am I going?
I had something to talk about, but I'm going to let you have it. Because this... I'll say...
Mine's going to be short and not that fiery because I'm
Yeah, I'm skipping mine.
I'm
skipping mine.
You're skipping yours?
Yeah.
Can I do it for you?
If you want to, I don't want to like make you do the whole thing.
I mean, girl, I got it. I got a bottle of water in front of me. Are you done? Oh, okay, Vesta. Anyway, so the thing I wanted to talk about was how this whole border fiasco is happening. How there's just a deluge of nonsense coming from the person that's supposed to be leading this country. What is the icing on the cake for me, and what's really getting me aggravated? And I'm sure I've mentioned this before. The fastest ways to get me infuriated are to mess with my sleep, mess with the people I truly care about, or mess with children.
Yep.
I'm sure there's more embedded in my psyche somewhere, and they'll rear their heads eventually. But those are the big three.
Right.
Obviously, what's happening at the border is activating the final one. There are, at the very least, right now, 2 children that have died in ICE custody.
They are dead. They aren't harmed. They aren't like in danger. They aren't sick. They are dead.
We're not even going to bring up the dozens of children that
are having extreme complications psychologically, mentally, and physically.
We're not even going to get into that because I'm going to make myself fucking cry. But the fact that there are now no less than 2 children dead that were in the custody of this country's government is appalling. It's abhorrent. It's disgusting. It's unacceptable. And the fact that there are people that are justifying this, I don't know which is worse. The fact that these kids died, or the fact that
You're justifying it.
There are people justifying it, saying that their parents shouldn't have brought them.
Yep. No, well, they knew what. No.
They knew what they were gonna get.
No, they didn't.
One, their children. They didn't know what they were gonna get. They were following their parents because their parents are trying to keep them safe. 2, more often than not, these parents are fleeing situations that this country fucking caused in the first motherfucking place, and so they're trying to come here and try to make a life for them and their children and try to actually survive. And then you have the fucking nerve to separate them from their children, keep their children in custody, and let them get sick and fucking die.
And then 3, you're justifying that. Like, you're literally saying, well, they died, oh well.
There is no justification for it. These kids died fleeing something that more often than not this country caused.
Probably. Yep. If they didn't do it directly, they had a hand in it.
Exactly. Funding this group, funding that group, trying to insert this dictator, that ruler, this mayor, this president, etc. into other countries, and then, have the nerve to try to catch a surprise Pikachu face when these families are trying to come in and flee the things that we started in the first place.
No, you gotta stay out there. We caused your problems, you gotta live in them. We don't want them.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, it's not going to be too fiery because there is a level of tired deep within my soul that I have not known until this presidency.
True. Like, it gets worse and worse.
It's already exhausting being black in America. But witnessing all this other stuff foisted upon other people's children, I can only be enraged for so long before I'm drained. And anyway, you sure you don't want to do yours?
Yeah, I'm gonna do mine.
Alright.
So, I'm trying to figure out what the name of the school was.
It's in New Jersey. No, go ahead. I'll do the googlings. You can.
Okay. So a junior, this is on the 19th, so it still counts as within range. Yeah. So, Andrew, his name's Andrew Johnson, wrestling. He's fighting and everything, and then the ref all of a sudden.
He's a wrestling for the record.
Yeah. So I said wrestling.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, man, culpa.
So in the middle of the match, he gets stopped by the ref, and or no, yeah, there we go.
Do, do.
He gets the referee is like, yeah, you have to cut your dreads off. It's a long thing of dreads.
His locks weren't even that long.
Were they? Oh no, they weren't. They were like, were they past his shoulder or to his shoulder?
They are barely past it. Like, I'm looking at the screenshot of the video right now.
Mm-hmm.
His locks barely don't even touch his traps.
Oh wow, so that's even more disrespectful. Okay.
They're maybe 6 inches long.
So ref is like, also mind you, this ref wasn't there at the weigh-ins. Gave Johnson 90 seconds. You either cut him off or you forfeit the match. Who in
Hold on. Let's back up. Let's back this up a little bit and give this a little more context. Johnson had also been wearing this same head cover for multiple different matches across multiple different areas.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an issue until we came across this referee who has a history
of
throwing slurs at people
Yeah.
and making unfair decisions.
And
His hair was covered
Mm-hmm.
fine. And in fact, some white kid not too far from him had just as much hair, just, not in dreadlocks.
that shit don't add up. I'm annoyed because there's a blatant disrespect to.
And sidebar, he flexed and still won that fucking match anyway.
Yep, sure did. And so now, as of 2 days ago, no, as of, I forget what day this is, as of very recently, they said, what is the fucking name of this stupid referee? Alan
Maloney.
Baloney. The superintendent of the Buena Regional School District says that said bologna sandwich will no longer be permitted to officiate any contests that the district competes in. He's done working with our district. Okay. However, guess what that means? Means that he's just gonna, or whatever, whoever they are, is going to another district and probably gonna pull some more bullshit.
Doesn't that sound like what they do with the cops?
And it's just what they do with rich people getting arrested.
That
It's what
sounds
they
like
do
what
with the cops.
It sounds like what they do with the Catholic clergy. Yeah, bitch, I'm still looking to fuck at you.
Just.
So, anyway, sorry.
It's just, oh my god.
It's exhausting.
You cut off someone's hair just because it doesn't look as. They weren't Grinch fingers, or.
It wasn't.
They weren't.
It wasn't
Caucasian. It
acceptable.
was. Oh, it's dreads. Gotta cut those off, bitch. Oh, you're wearing your hair natural in school. Sorry, we need your hair well kempt in this Caucasian establishment. Oh, what are those things? We're gonna take those, call them ghetto and ratchet on you, but Kim Kardashian is gonna wear them, and her harem of like-minded hive sisters are gonna wear them, and it's gonna be the trend of the fucking year. Y'all can suck my ass. And I hope all of your hair falls out trying to imitate what our thick, luxurious, capable of withstanding 2 degrees of heat hair can do, unlike yours. It's just annoying that our hair gets treated differently because it's melanated, but let the Caucasians do it, and it's just trendy, and it's hip, and it's everything but ghetto and ratchet.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
You a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right. So, I think that about wraps it up.
That concludes.
That concludes another episode of the Baldwin Kids podcast.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed our political musings and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any questions, comments, great ideas, if you just want to say hi, feel
Hello.
free. Feel free to shoot us an email at askthebkcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to get a hold of me on Twitter, my handle is at the Iron Magnus. That's TheIronMagnus.
And mine is the Moon Dancer, all one word, nothing fancy. And I'm also on Instagram. It is Vesta with 2 underscores.
Okay. Casual reminder that we are a part of the TSRP podcast network.
Yeah.
Get into us.
Get into it. Live it. Embrace it. Work it.
Yeah, if you like the show, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your cousins, tell your mom and them.
That was tell your MAMANEM, okay?
Mom and them. Anyway, I believe that is it for us. Do you have any closing words?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Anyway, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, hope you enjoy the rest of your time until we get on here and yell at nonsense again. As always, do better.
Do better.